gur mágad Brendan ar a gédal síos tá áthasar am a bhain seo le chuir síos dhéanamh an gné fiar háhachtach seo go ar thuaisceart na tíre seo sinna an gné comhaibbrú trastóran. I'd just like to give a brief overview of the importance of cross-border collaboration to us here in a Donegal County Council context, in a County Donegal context. The northwest of Ireland forms a natural region which since the 1920s has been divided by a stark international border, both economic and for many years a militarised border as well. And Mark referred to John Hume earlier on, and I recall John Hume saying a number of years ago that no place on the island of Ireland was as detrimentally affected by the border and by the troubles that occurred in the north than Donegal. And I think here in Donegal that we have felt the effects over the years. There were many years there where we were lagging behind in terms of infrastructure, very remote from our capital in Dublin, and cut off by that international border that I mentioned there. Donegal is the most northerly county in Ireland. Its current population is of just over 161,000. It's the fourth largest county in the Republic, and we have a land border of 140 kilometres with the north and 9 kilometres with the Republic. Our nearest neighbour is the new Derry-Strabane Council, which has come about due to the reform of public administration in the north. And this new council encapsulates the old Derry city and the Strabane district councils, and it has a population of just under 150,000. The northwest region combines these two council areas and together has a total population of 310,000. This region, which is very important to us, provides us with a critical mass in terms of population, in terms of educational facilities, third-level educational facilities, a foreign direct investment base, and a very vibrant tourism product as well. And there's a very strong history of collaboration here. The councils of Donegal, Derry City and Strabane District have had a long history of cooperation and collaborative working, dating back to the 1970s. The councillors from all political backgrounds were coming together, sitting together, when it was neither, I'd say, very popular or profitable. And since that time, the Northwest region has tried, in whatever ways it could, to identify areas where it could work together. And as Mark said, we've been very successful in this region over the years in identifying various EU funds, cross-border funds and so on, and working together to actually avail of these funds for the benefit of the region on a cross-border basis. The whole area of cross-border collaboration was significantly strengthened in 2002 when the National Spatial Strategy in the Republic of Ireland and the Regional Development Strategy in the North designated Letterkenny and Derry Gateway as a linked cross-border gateway. And some 5 years after that, the Northwest Gateway Initiative was launched by the two governments in recognition of the need for a special focus on the Northwest region of Ireland, which had been lagging behind. We in Donegal and in Derry set up the Northwest Partnership Board in 2011 as a collaboration between Donegal County Development Board and the Derry City Strategy Board to actually get in behind this Northwest Gateway Initiative, to get in behind the cross-border gateway to see if we could get the maximum benefit out of the potential that existed. And arising from that, in 2012, the Northwest Partnership Board, made up of council executives, the political side from both sides, third-level education, the various agencies and civic and community interests, would have made a joint presentation to the North-South Ministerial Secretariat outlining what the shared regional priorities were in the context of the Northwest Gateway Initiative. And these were things like access, the A5, A6 routes and airports, the Northwest Regional Science Park, which was a strategic project we were trying to progress at the time, Altnagelvin radiotherapy services, which were of equal importance to Donegal as they were to Derry, and the whole area of connectivity and how to maximise the Project Kelvin link, which had been made to North America in terms of high-speed connectivity fibre. And the whole area of third-level education, that LYIT in Letterkenny needed to be working more closely with the University of Ulster and that there had to be recognition given to the fact that even though we were in different jurisdictions, that they were only 20 miles apart, and that there was an awful lot of potential there for collaboration and building up a critical mass of educational capacity. At this stage now, I think that two councils, the two chief executives and the elected councils are trying to bring this collaboration to a further stage. And at this stage, the two councils are now taking the lead in formalising a place-based and council-led approach to cross-border regional development. The two councils recognise that the North West region is a resource of great potential to the island of Ireland, economically, socially, culturally and environmentally. It's recognised on both sides of the border that an opportunity now exists to secure an understanding and commitment among senior leaders and decision makers to further develop and formalise the partnership-based working relationships to develop the region as a strong contributor to the economies of both jurisdictions. The new alignment of local government allows central government to coordinate resource planning and spending as they relate to the region in a way that couldn't be done before, we believe. Structures are now being developed to enable an approach which can deliver resilient and durable coordinated partnership-based cooperation. The local government reform, both north and south, has brought about an emergence of like with like functions, again, which did not exist before. The North West Gateway Initiative and the Stormont House Agreement provide political, central regional government and civic support for this approach. And local partnership is being facilitated through the fact that at this stage, Donegal County Council are producing our new local economic and community plan, while Derry and Strabane District are producing their community plan. And we're working hand in hand to ensure that there's complementarity and a joined-up approach with regard to these. I said that working together in the Northwest provides us with a critical mass. Mark mentioned something important there. Donegal, Derry, Strabane have not become one. There are areas we still compete, and it's not just in terms of football. There's also the fact that we recognise where we work better apart for our own interests, but we also recognise that the vast bulk of our activity is better done together, and that's the basis that we operate on. We take the region out to the United States. We take it out to Europe. We take it out as one region of 350,000 people with that critical mass that is joined up. Every year we go to Boston for the Golden Bridges. Our two mayors, our two chief executives are working closely together and through all of this. The importance of EU support has been outlined before, and I think it's hard to overemphasize the fact that the disappearance to a large extent of the border compared to what it was, the enabling that we have of working together. The various ways that the EU has come in behind regional development through the Interreg programme. We've had tens of millions of euro of Interreg money invested in this region in the past 10 years between our two council areas. The way that the EU has come in behind the peace process through the 3 phases of the EU Peace and Reconciliation programme can't be underestimated. There are very evident things like the Peace Ridge in Derry, very visible, Pedigo Tullyhammon, but the amount of cross-community work that's been done through that programme and the way that that's underpinned the peace process and cross-community work here can't be underestimated. We have our own EU unit in Donegal County Council that works full-time on establishing links through the Irish Regions Office, through various networks that we're involved in Europe. It's not just to join up with people for funding. The amount of good practice that we're acquiring, the amount of learning we're doing, the amount of networks that we're becoming involved in is of critical importance to this region. So just in conclusion, I'd just like to say that the whole experience that we've had in recent years of being able to further our cross-border agenda with the financial and other support of the EU has been very important. We mentioned there the way that the border was, the economic border, the militarised border. It gives me great pleasure that I try to explain to my children as we go over the border that there once was a border, go through Culmore, Bridgend, Killay, trying to explain to them the structures, permanent security structures that were there is very hard, which is great. And as I say, we look forward to continuing in our collaboration here, and that it's very important to us that Donegal does revert to being a relatively isolated part of an island behind an island. Gur Magav.